The college basketball experience Texas Longhorns 2022-23 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Hey, this is John Sally and you listen to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience Texas Longhorns 2022 season preview episode. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
The basketball season's getting closer and closer and closer, and I cannot wait because we got Chris Beard in year 2 in Austin, Texas. I am joined by pretty much I want to say a co-host of ours. You can hear this guy. He's the host of the NFL gambling podcast, one of the many hosts. You can hear him on his own podcast. And we'll plug that in a second here, but give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and West Virginia University. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. How you doing, Ryan?
Colby, I am fired up. We are 3 weeks away from opening night. We got preseason polls. We got Ken Palm rankings out. Everything's out. The season is here.
There we go. And by the way, it's the Ryan and Rush show. Check out his other podcast, as I was drawing a blank on the name of that. But yes, the season is here and super, super excited. You take a look at the Texas Longhorns in year 1. I don't know what to make. I mean, like, what do you make of Chris Beard was 22-12 in his first year in Austin? Which, okay, that's fantastic in a way, but from a win percentage standpoint, it's actually worse than Shaka Smart's final year. So I don't know. I'll put it like this. I think he did a great job. They went to the NCAA tournament. They won a game in the NCAA tournament, but when I saw all those transfers come in, I thought that team had potential to go to the Final Four. So in a way, I could sit there and say a little disappointing, but they still were a tournament team. They played the gauntlet of the Big 12. What do you make of Beard's first season there in Austin?
I thought it was solid overall. Like you said, they kind of got worn down throughout the Big 12. The Big 12 will do that to everybody, as everybody knows. But I think it was more setting the culture. And then year 2, like at year 1 at Tech, they kind of struggled a little bit as well under Beard. But then years 2 and 3 is when they really started making their push, where they got to the Elite 8 and then obviously the national championship.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to watch. You know, this could be Texas's final season in the Big 12. Well, no, I think they're going to get next year too. But so 2 more years, potentially, maybe 3. Should be very interesting to watch as the Longhorns. You take a look back. You pull the curtain back on last season's numbers. They were 10-8 in the Big 12. So winning record in the Big 12 is nothing to shake a stick at. But 13-20 ATS. So from a gambling standpoint, if you're a Longhorn fan, you're betting on your team every night. You definitely took a loss from last season, just 39%. You look at the numbers, offensively with adjusted offense, 26 in the nation, which is pretty good. I feel like for a Beard's teams, I feel like are better defensively, and the stats back it up here with adjusted defense, 14th in the nation. They were 215th in shooting the 3. So I think you circle that as one of the glaring weaknesses of this team from a season ago. 65th in offensive rebounding, 243rd in defensive rebounding. So maybe you circle that as well. 82nd in free throw shooting, which was a bit surprising considering how bad they shot the three. 336th in pace. So watch out, Tony Bennett, Chris Beard may be coming for you. And 129th in the country at taking care of the ball. Any of those numbers stand out besides that? I think the 3-point, the three ball is just maybe one of the reasons why they were a little bit disappointing in the NCAA tournament, at least. What do you think?
Well, yeah, you said the pace. I mean, they were one of the slowest teams. They were more of a half-court team. They struggled to get anything in transition. He kind of went back to his old motion offense at Texas Tech in year one, and they were really good defensively. And I thought it was a breath of fresh air when they got out of the Big 12 and then they go to the NCAA tournament. And then in the opening round, they drop 80 points. And it was like, whoa, where did this Texas offense come from? They were averaging in the 50s all, but that just shows how good the Big 12 is defensively as a whole league.
Yeah. The best conference in college basketball. Now, looking at what has changed in Austin, Andrew Jones is gone, and he was a pretty good player for them. 11 points, 3 boards, shot 32% from 3. Also, Courtney Ramey, which I know Duke was trying to land. He transferred out to Arizona. He shot 35% from 3, 9 points, 4 boards. Forward Trey Mitchell, once again, another one of these Big 12 transfers within the Big 12, as he heads to Morgantown, a place that you're very familiar with. He was previously, I believe, at UMass. So, I mean, he's bounced all around. This is college basketball 2022. Devin Askew, who I believe transferred in from Kentucky, he transfers out to Cal, and he only averaged 2 points a game last year, but he was talented. So you were hoping maybe if you're a Longhorn fan that you could keep him there. And then Jalen Tyson transferred to Texas Tech, never played a game with the Longhorns, but yet another one that transferred within the Big 12. What do you make of all those faces gone? And if you're a Longhorn fan, should you panic a little bit about maybe the Ramey loss? I don't know, maybe the Mitchell loss. What do you think?
Well, Mitchell left in the middle of conference play. He left with a personal reason, and then obviously ended up at West Virginia in the spring. But Ramey and Jones, I mean, it felt like those guys were there for 10 years. I mean, they were there for all Shaka's years at Texas. So they're going to miss those veterans. And then they've obviously provided perimeter shooting, both of them, 4-year guys that average double figures throughout. But I mean, I think they reloaded in the portal as well. And I know you're going to touch on who they added, but it's good to have Marcus Carr and Timmy Allen back as well in year 2 under Beard.
Oh, 100% with those two. Before we talk about what is coming into Austin, I want to tell you folks out there that the Texas Longhorns 2022 season preview, 2022-23 season preview on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. So looking here at what is coming in off this team, they hit the portal heavy. I mean, a little bit, I guess, but got 2 gigantic players, I would say, as far as impact on your team. And Tyrese Hunter transferring from Iowa State, who he was a stud in Ames last season, 11 points, 5 assists, 4 boards. And then he goes out and gets a New Mexico State transfer. And if you followed the Aggies, you know, they beat UConn in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They keep a great program there in Las Cruces. But with Chris Jans leaving for Mississippi State, Serge-Ibaka Rice says, you know what? I'm looking for a new team, finds his new team. Serge-Ibaka Rice averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And I know they were raving about him this offseason. Those 2 guys are coming in, just great gets, you would think, in the portal. And then 4 top 205 recruits. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess three top 100 recruits, and then the 205th recruit in the nation. We'll get to him. 6'7" forward Dylan Mitchell, the number 5 recruit in the nation out of Tampa, Florida, is coming in. Then 6'3" guard Arterio Morris, the number 17 recruit in the nation out of Dallas, Texas, and then 6'4" guard Rowan Brumball, number 85 recruit in the nation out of Washington D.C. Brutal Terrapins, Georgetown. Where are you at? 6'6" forward Alex Anamkwe. He's ranked number 205 in the nation out of McKinney, Texas. All those are coming in. What do you make? I mean, I do think, comparing some of these other teams, when you say, some of that freshman class pretty much not going to see the hardwood in year one. I think Mitchell and Morris will certainly see the hardwood, maybe even Brumbaugh as well. What do you make of that whole class and the transfers they brought in?
I really like it, to be honest. I think they have a good mix of young talent with experienced guys to go with it as well. You touch on it. Dylan Mitchell and Arterio Morris, those guys are obviously, those are top 20 guys. Top 20 guys don't sit the bench, so they're going to find their way in the rotation. But then, Tyrese Hunter, everybody remembers his big game against LSU in the NCAA tournament. He was having a good freshman year, so I think moving him off the ball to pair with Carr in the backcourt, he's going to have a monster second year. And then obviously you got Timmy Allen as well at the 4 position. And then, they got good bigs as well that'll give them depth. So I like this team a lot.
Yeah, from a talent perspective, I think they're among one of the more talented in the country. I'm going to take a look at the starting 5 and see what we project, but I got to get us paid one more time, folks. I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by No House Advantage. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. You can play and pick 'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $250K in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for corrected points and for corrected picks. And climb up that leaderboard for your shot to win big money every single day. You can also test your skills versus the house and win 20 times the amount of money you enter if you hit all your picks. And it's not just the big time sport. It's NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, NASCAR even. So sign up now with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app in the App Store to get a first deposit match up to $25. We're also brought to you by Babbel. If you like me and there's a foreign language that you regret, learning in high school, I even took the classes. I just didn't learn it. It's never too late to start with Babbel. All right. Babbel's the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Wow. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language lessons, which when dealing with a bozo like myself, you give me a little small 10-minute lesson, sign me up. That's the way I learn. All right. You give me the block scheduling and I'm asleep. All right. I'm sitting there drawing up plays, talking Azusa Pacific basketball or something. I don't know. Thanks to, but I'm telling you got to check out Babbel. This 10-minute lesson, it's smart. I think by doing that, especially because if you just hopping in foreignly and you don't know, any of these languages, it can be overwhelming. It really can. So this thing will 10-minute lessons and will have you really having conversations within 3 weeks. Other language learning apps use artificial intelligence for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts. Yes, and voiced by real native speakers, not computers. So you take your Skynet and you shove it up your ass. All right. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. So you got to check it out. And look, it's not just Spanish. It's like for me, I want to learn Spanish. I want to learn all these languages, but maybe these 10-minute lessons for me, because I want to go to Italy. I would like to not be the American tourist that's just like, hey, how do I get a water? So check it out. Spanish, French, Italian, German, 14 different languages. All right. So check it out right now. Get up to 55% of your subscription when you go to Babbel, babbel.com/SGP. That's BABBEL for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life, baby. Nowadays, the way college basketball is going, these coaches need to take Babbel. All right. They need to the way that you can recruit out of Europe. I'm telling you, they got to be diving in, man. All right, we're back talking Longhorn hoops, and I think we're projecting the starting 5, which is actually kind of a tall task when you have a team that's this talented. Mm-hmm. I heard them raving about Sir'Jabari Rice this offseason. Does he find a way to crack the starting lineup? Perhaps. I don't know, but we know Marcus Carr, the Minnesota transfer from a couple years ago, is going to be there. He's a senior. He's back. He's one of the better players in college basketball. I would expect him, like you mentioned, him and Tyrese Hunter and what a backcourt that would be. They also have Dylan Mitchell, as we alluded to. So by us looking at this and trying to project our starting 5, we do Carr at the 1, Hunter at the 2, Dylan Mitchell at the 3, Timmy Allen at the 4 at 12.6 boards and 2 assists per game a season ago. And then Christian Bishop, and if people might not, Christian Bishop from Creighton, remember him at Creighton? He transferred into Texas a couple years ago. Maybe this could be his breakout year. Last year, just 7.6 rebounds. I was a little disappointed. I thought that was going to be a huge get, but I do think he's very talented. I think he's capable of having a great season. So that would be what we project as the starting 5. Could that change? Of course, because Texas is extremely talented. But if so, where would you pencil in that starting 5 in the ranks of the Big 12, Ryan?
I think they're in the top 4. I think it's obviously the Kansas and Baylor, the 2 defending national champs, and then you take your pick with TCU, Texas Tech, and Texas. I think that's definitely the top half of the league going into this year. Yeah, and
I mean, Big 12 play is going to be so awesome. Let's
yes,
get to it. Yeah, let's get to it. The schedule just around the corner. Monday, November 7th. We're going to take a look at the out-of-conference schedule, then we'll hop into the Big 12 schedule. But Monday, November 7th, the UTEP Miners come in to the Moody Center. It's going to be on Longhorn Network. UTEP's not horrible, but they did get. I think they got rated in the transfer portal, so who knows how good they'll look this year. But could be a sneaky game if they're overlooking it. You know, the Miners, they've been all right on the college basketball front. I know, like I said, I know they lost was a Boom, Sule Boom, and so that's a win, right? We're just gonna give them that one.
Yeah, and that's Chris Beard's best friend, Joe Golding. If people remember when Abilene Christian beat Texas, he was the head coach of Abilene Christian, so he's now at UTEP.
Awesome matchup, matchup. Because the way they play defense, both these teams, well, just Golding coach teams. If you remember Abilene Christian when they beat Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, Chris Beard should thank him because he's the guy who got Shaka Smart fired.
And they almost beat Texas Tech earlier in the year as well in Lubbock. So yeah, no, it's good. They know each other well, but I'm with you. The Longhorns will be too much, but yeah, no, he definitely should thank him. He's the reason he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Week 2, game 2, November 10th. Houston Christian, which formerly Houston Baptist, they changed their name. That's a win. They're not very good in college hoops, but hey, maybe this year they will be. But no, I got them 2-0. You got them 2-0.
Yep, and that sets up the big one.
Oh man, this one, November 16th. That's a Wednesday, folks. Gonzaga, and I love the fact they're playing these ones on campus. You remember last year, Texas went up to Gonzaga, got destroyed. By the way, this is the revenge matchup. At the Moody Center. This one's awesome. This is on ESPN 2. Should be on ESPN 1 if you ask me. Texas, Gonzaga. Who are you taking?
I'm taking the home team with the revenge angle. You know, you mentioned it. They got their ass beat by them up in Spokane. I mean, a lot of teams do that. That place is unbelievable, but they got to come back down to Austin. I think Chris Beard will have those guys ready to go.
Yeah, I'm going to take Gonzaga. I just think with them bringing back Timmy, with them going out in the portal and getting a couple gigantic pieces, I think it's going to be a close game though. And I like the revenge angle. I like the road angle. I like the fact it's not one of these neutral site games because you see college basketball really doing a ton of these neutral site games, which, okay, it's great to see some of these matchups, but I would just love them on campus because campus is what makes college sports so great. Then you got the Leon Black Classic where they take on in Edinburgh, Texas. They take on the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona. That should not be a problem because I've had the opportunity of watching NAU basketball often. They're not very good. So
no.
I think Texas will roll the Lumberjacks. Sorry, NAU. I hope I kind of hope I'm wrong, but it's not. I'm not going to be wrong here. So I got them 3-1. You got them 4-0.
Yep.
Then UT Rio Grande. Don't sleep on my boys. They were a gold mine for me. I want to say 2 years ago. Last year they were all right, but 2 years ago, Vegas did not know about UT Rio Grande, and I was a covering machine on RT what is it? UTRGV.
Yeah.
I got Texas winning this, so I got them going through the month of November, sitting there at 4-1. You got them 5-0.
Yep.
Whew. Then, interesting matchup, Big 12, Big East battle. This is once again at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, taking on the Creighton Blue Jays. We talked about Christian Bishop used to play at Creighton. This is a revenge spot for him then. And this is one, honestly, like Creighton's coming in with a ton of hype, and rightfully so. They have a great roster, but I still wonder if McDermott can coach all that talent. I'm going to take the Longhorns to get the dub in Austin, Texas at the Moody Center. What are you doing?
This is one of those games where where's the game's played. So it's played in Austin. I'll take the home team. If it was in Omaha, probably a different animal and different way of thinking of the game, but I'm with you. I'm going to take the home team again.
Then you got the Jimmy V Classic on December 6th. That's Tuesday, December 6th in Madison Square Garden on ESPN. By the way, the Creighton game is on ESPN as well. Taking on the Illini. This game is great.
Yes.
Illinois, they went out in the portal, got a couple, Matthew Meyer from Baylor. They also got the kid from Texas Tech. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Terrence
Shannon.
Yes. I wanted to say Terrence Rancher, the former Texas guard, I think. Oh man, I do feel like Texas is slightly better, but this is a true neutral site game. Give me the Longhorns. I got them winning this. You?
So I had them beating Gonzaga. I'll have them dropping the Illini game. So I think they make it through this with one loss.
Yeah. I got them. Yeah. I got them with one loss still. So then they take on December 10th, the Jimmy Blacklock Classic in Austin, Texas. They're taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff. That will be a blowout win. Then on Monday, December 12th, they host the Rice Owls. Rice is not bad. They were all right for me last year. A little bit inconsistent, but I still think dangerous. If you're overlooking this game and the way that Texas shot the 3 last year, I still feel like they're susceptible. If they're not better from shooting the 3 or just shooting in general, then you could be susceptible for an upset loss somewhere, but I got them beating Rice. You?
Yeah, I got them rolling past Rice.
Then Pac-12 LBM Coast to Coast Challenge, which I never even heard of, but Stanford, Jared Haas, big year for him. He's on the hot seat there in Palo Alto. This game's on ESPN too, and this is not in Austin. This is in Dallas, Texas. So pretty much the same thing at American Airlines Center. I got them beating Stanford.
Same.
You?
Yep. Yeah. No, they beat them last year too, so I think they'll beat them 2 years in a row.
Then they take on the Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns on December 21st. I feel like Louisiana's team's been just raided by the portal the past couple of years. I got them beating Louisiana right before Christmas. Yourself?
Yeah, you mentioned it. All these mid majors, I mean, they just get killed by the portal with the way it's set up now. You get good guys, and then the high major just picks them right off.
Especially like if there's no great culture there. Like, okay, like Loyola doesn't get picked apart, but you look at that La Tech, I feel like Louisiana, UTEP, you know, maybe UTEP's got a little more culture than Louisiana, but still like they you're right. But it is weird because I feel like some of them can actually keep their guys. I think it's all about the culture and the fit. And are you making the NCAA tournament? I know obviously some of these schools didn't, so they're thinking, hey, let me get a shot at getting to the tournament and getting my name heard. But gotta be tough to coach there. Then on December 27th, the last out of conference game besides the SEC challenge, which will happen later. Texas A&M Commerce, who's jumped up to a division, comes to town. That'll be a win. So basically, I'm sure you got them as a win there too, right?
Yes.
So that would put my projection of what Texas can do at 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10. I got them 11-1 in out of conference play. You got them 11-1 too, I believe.
Yep, I got them 11-1, and it helps for them that they don't play in one of those hard invitationals around Thanksgiving. So instead, they're playing the Leon Black Classic where they're going to play Northern Arizona and UT Rio. But but their schedule isn't crap other than that. I mean, they got Creighton and Illinois and Gonzaga, so they're definitely testing themselves.
Well, and when you add in that January 28th matchup, part of the SEC Big Ten Challenge, it is in Knoxville against Rick Barnes, who used to coach at Texas. See, this is interesting because I normally like to fade Rick Barnes, but that's more so in the NCAA tournament. I will take Tennessee to beat Texas in Knoxville. How about yourself?
Yeah, because Texas beat them at the buzzer last year when the game was in Austin. So yeah, no, I like taking the home teams in these matchups. The home court, it actually means something in college basketball.
Yeah. It's not the NBA. All right.
No.
It's where just games are. Who cares? Crowds. They put fake crowd noise in. They got people, it's all fake. It's from the machine. Not in college basketball. College basketball is a real deal, folks. Look, when the season starts for conference play is on New Year's Eve. Before we get to that, I want to get us paid, but I want to go through the conference. Now, we're not going to go through every single conference game because we don't know injuries or what will happen, try to forecast, but we will go through and talk about what is the stretch that Texas Longhorn fans need to focus on the most and say, oh man, I hope we can get through this stretch. If we can get through this stretch, maybe we could be a 1 seed or a 2 seed. We'll get to it. But first, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Fubo TV. If you watch football and basketball, you need Fubo TV. Fubo TV gives you complete coverage of college and pro football and basketball. They got the NFL Red Zone. They got games in 4K at no extra charge. There's over 100 channels of live sports and entertainment for a fraction of the price of cable. You can watch it on all your devices. Never miss a game or an episode of your favorite shows with the included cloud-based DVR. Plus, there's no contract. There's no commitment. You can cancel at any time. Right now, you can try Fubo TV for free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month. Just go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That's FUBOTV.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Yeah, Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to assure yourself that you get the best deal possible. The app also gives you player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets possible. It also has a bet tracker so bettors can keep records of all your games and betting activity. So go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. OddsTrader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. All right, we're back talking Longhorn hoops, and I cannot wait for the season. And especially once you get me started on the season and the out of conference matchups, then I start craving conference play, and conference play is coming our way. New Year's Eve, December 31st, we got the Red River Shootout on the hardwood in Norman, Oklahoma. Porter Moser, year 2. Chris Beard, year 2. I think Beard's roster is way more talented, but it's in Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be an interesting one to watch New Year's Eve.
Yeah. No, I on the Oklahoma preview that we just did, I took Oklahoma, so I can't sway back and forth. I'm taking the Sooners.
Oof, I mean, just brutal. Yeah, I mean, and then that'll kick off Big 12 play, and then after that, the gauntlet that is conference play in the best conference in college basketball. So I'm gonna pick out. I'm curious. I looked pre-episode and I said, man, this 3-game stretch is brutal. What is the one like stretch where you say, okay, if Texas really wants to lock down a 1 or 2 seed, they're gonna need some high caliber wins. What is that toughest stretch of the season you think that could really get them? I see. I'm curious what your answer would be, because like I said, I already picked mine. Obviously, there's a lot of, with the Big 12 being every team's good, you could sit there and go, oh, well, this one, and this one. But I have one, and I wonder if it's the same as yours. So I'm curious your answer.
Well, the specific game I'm looking forward to with Texas with Chris Beard is obviously going to be February 13th when he goes back to Lubbock again after that crazy atmosphere last year. That was awesome. But for the 3-game stretch, the last 3 games of the season where you got to go to Baylor, to TCU, and then you come back home and you end with the Jayhawks before you go to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament.
And that is a great answer, because that was not the answer that I had, but it was right there. this is how tough the schedule is. Cause I thought Monday, February 6th, they're at Kansas. They come back and they're home to West Virginia. They need to make sure they do not lose that matchup. And then they're back in Lubbock on the 13th. So 2 road games where if you can grab a win, potential top 10 teams. But I completely see your point here at Baylor, at TCU. TCU is not the TCU we're thinking of. All right. No. This is not the TCU from the CUSA back in the day with Kurt Thomas. All right. This is the TCU that Jamie Dixon has built this thing. And I think they're going to be pretty darn good this year. So at Baylor, at TCU, and then you come home to the Jayhawks. You make a strong point. You make a strong point. And I think you could argue which one is better. It's gonna be chaos. So at the end of the day here, because like I said, we're not going through every game. What is their pecking order in the Big 12? Gun to your head right now. Obviously, we know this is hard, and they'll probably be like a game difference between 1st and 5th. But what's your pecking order?
I was just about to say, when we're picking the Big 12, I feel like you could have like 3 or 4-way ties at multiple seedings in this league. I'm going to go 3rd. I think they finished just behind Kansas and Baylor and finish 3rd this year. They'd make a step. They were 4th last year, so they take another step and finish 3rd.
I got them 4th. I got Baylor 1. I know you have Kansas 1. I have Kansas 2. Right. 3. I'm taking Texas Tech, and 4 Texas. But I could also see a case. I mean, I've read that TCU is a possible team that could come up there. Everyone's high on them. It seems like from the press. Then you can make a case that some of these other schools that are really good could get in that mix. There's some mystery teams, kind of like Oklahoma State or Iowa State made a deep run a season ago. So it will be interesting. I'm going to take him at 4th. I don't feel that confident on that because I do believe I wouldn't be shocked if they finished 1st. I think that they have a talented enough roster where they could finish 1st. But let's, I know the tournament, it's about matchups. So it's really hard to say, hey, this team will be in the Sweet 16 or be in the Elite 8, but we are a gambling show. Gun to your head. What's the deepest Texas could go?
I think they could go to the Final Four if the matchups present itself. I thought they weren't that too far last year. If they got him by Purdue, that bracket had already opened up, and they beat Virginia Tech soundly in round number 1. I think probably they're going to be a second weekend team, Sweet 16 or Elite 8, kind of like Beard year 2 at Texas Tech. But if they get the perfect matchup and perfect bracket, I could see them getting all the way to the Final Four.
I agree. I mean, I could also see them. It's all about matchups, and to me, like I could see them losing or getting the round of 32 if you get the wrong matchup. I mean, what Carolina was what were their seeding last year? They were 8. Not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine getting another team like that as an 8? So it all matters. Injuries play a role. But I can tell you this: we're super excited to watch Texas basketball this year. It's a damn shame they're leaving the Big 12 in a couple of years because I love watching the Big 12 way more than the SEC when it comes to hoops. So, folks, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience, and remember, subscribe to the College Football Experience because we preview we talk every game, every matchup. We're high on Quinn Ewers' haircut. So listen to the College Football Experience. We talk college football year round over there. We talk college basketball year round over here. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. And I gotta give some props to the College Baseball Experience. I know Texas keeps a great team. You got lucky going to my East Carolina Pirates last year, but you keep a great team. Subscribe to the College Baseball Experience. And we talk, those shows will be on YouTube as well. So youtube.com/the college experience. Check out all of Ryan's work here. Ryan's, like I said, NFL gambling podcast. I know there's Cowboy fans and Texans fans out there. I almost said Texas. But also check out the Ryan and Rush show. Give Ryan a follow on Twitter at moneyline_Mac. You can give me a follow on Twitter at the Colby D. Also give the College Basketball Experience a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And if you can, get over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review because, that's kind of what pays the bills. Sponsors look at those comments. They want to see people like the product or not. So please take a minute out of your day. What are you doing, folks? All right. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And also come talk Texas football and basketball and baseball with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And yeah, cannot wait for the season. It's right around the corner. So buckle up, folks. This is the college basketball experience, Texas Longhorn style. Hook 'em horns. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even blocked all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
And sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, talented pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
When we were winning conference titles and going to the Final Four, we were making a statement.
That's how I feel. Damn sick and tired of getting out rebounded. 25 offensive rebounds. First time we block out, we get called for a damn block out. I'm pushing people. Meanwhile, they're on the other court grabbing rebounds, going on the top and grabbing them. We get one offense.